A man is seen running through the woods. As he reaches the road, he's suddenly hit by a car. The investigating officer, Jaime, was told that the accident victim, Angel Torres, is in a coma. Pablo mentions he was clearly running away from something. Jaime questions, from what? Why was he running through the woods at night? Pablo explains Torres worked at the Forensic Institute as the night guard. At the morgue, the officer confirms. At the Forensic Institute, colleagues Mateos and Norma state that Torres fled his post around 8:30 p.m., escaping through the security fence and into the woods. They mention that while some guards have panicked in the past when alarms go off in the refrigerated room, this wasn't one of those cases. Pablo clarifies, no alarms were triggered. Torres had been working here for 3 years. Norma adds that Torres had called earlier, asking for a patrol car. He sounded nervous, but didn't explain why. Jaime asks if anyone else was in the building. Norma replies, no. The morgue doors shut at 8 p.m. Torres was the only night staff present. Pablo theorizes it could have been a prank, but then they discover something disturbing. According to the registry, a body is missing. The deceased is Maica Villaverde, a woman who supposedly died of a heart attack. An autopsy was pending. The senior officer asks who signed the death certificate, Dr. Tapia. No other forensic staff had contact with the body, and she has already been informed. Norma reports that the surveillance system had been tampered with. All the cameras are down except the one covering Torres. The footage shows him noticing something off-screen. Moments later, he abandons his post, returning 5 minutes later in panic before running off. Jaime states, something terrified the guard. Unless we believe the dead can walk, someone entered and stole the corpse. He's asked if there was any break-in. No signs, he says, but someone changed the access code. We can't even enter the security room. Jaime asks about the deceased, Maica Villaverde. She was married to Alex Ulloa, director of Pharmatech, a pharmaceutical lab she owned. She had recently returned from a business trip to L.A. After Maica's sisters leave the house after consoling him, Alex visits his girlfriend. He tells her, it's done. I did it for you. We're free now. But while he's there, he gets a phone call. Maica's body has disappeared from the morgue. His girlfriend panics. Are you sure she's dead? She asks. Alex insists. I know what I did. She's dead. At the morgue, the police inform Alex that the body vanished, and the night guard fled in fear. They suspect the incident is related to his wife. The police mention they tried contacting him before reaching out to Maica's sisters. Gloria, their lawyer, gave them his number and some documents. A forensic expert tells Alex that stress from long flights can sometimes trigger cardiac arrest, but without an autopsy, they can't confirm anything. She asks if Maica had any medical conditions like Parkinson's, schizophrenia, or epilepsy. Alex says he doesn't see how that's relevant. The expert replies, we want to rule out catalepsy. Jaime asks, do you really think she wasn't dead? She answers, I certified her death, but the circumstances force me to reconsider everything. Pablo argues, if she woke up, why didn't she scream or ask for help? Jaime says it's more logical to think someone took the body. The forensic expert counters, every death is a homicide until proven otherwise. Cardiac arrest can be induced through stress or toxins, but we can't confirm anything without a body. She mentions Alex referred to his wife in the past tense without hesitation, unlike someone grieving a recent loss. Jaime reflects, my wife died years ago, and I still speak about her in the present. Maica had died only that afternoon. The narrative intensifies suspicion around Alex Ulloa, suggesting his involvement in Maica's death and the body's disappearance, while his girlfriend's panic and the altered access code point to a calculated cover-up. Jaime's investigation, coupled with the forensic expert's doubts about catalepsy and induced cardiac arrest, creates ambiguity, blending potential foul play with unsettling supernatural possibilities. As the lights flicker and the police investigate the disturbance in the building, Alex hears strange sounds and enters the room where Maica's body disappeared. There, he discovers a box containing her belongings. One of the plastic covers is empty. He also finds a vial labeled TH16, a chemical he had mixed with wine and gave to his wife that morning. As the lights return, the officers enter the room. Alex quickly hides the vial in his pocket. Mateos, holding an empty plastic cover, reports that the deceased person's mobile phone is missing. When Jaime searches Alex's pockets, hoping to find Maker's phone, he discovers the TH16 vial instead. When questioned, Alex claims he found it on the floor. The police note that the vial bears Pharmatech's seal. Asked what it is, Alex responds evasively, "It's a toxin. We handle hundreds. It's not my specialty." At that moment, Alex's phone rings. Since he has not yet been formally interrogated, Jaime allows him to answer. Alex claims it's his sister calling, though it's actually Clara Miller, his girlfriend. While in the restroom, Alex calls Clara and says, "Someone knew about our plan with TH16. Only you and I knew about it," he tells his girlfriend. "Did you talk to anyone?" He also finds an invitation to the business club annual dinner at Hotel Tivoli with a handwritten message on the back. "I close my eyes and you're still with me." This triggers a memory of a night when Alex came home from the office and noticed the same invitation. Micah approached him from behind, visibly upset. That day, feeling sad about growing older and neglected, she had confided in him. That same night, Alex had received a text from Clara Miller containing those exact words, "I close my eyes and you're still with me." The message on the back of the invitation suggests that Maker saw Clara's text on Alex's phone. Alex frantically tries to destroy the invitation by tearing it into pieces and throwing them into the toilet. But when the toilet fails to flush and a police officer bangs on the restroom door, he swallows the pieces of the invitation one by one. Jaime tells Alex, "The whole building is controlled from here," he says, showing Alex some circuit boards. "But there's a weak spot," he adds, pointing to a small tunnel. "The air duct leads to the rooftop. It's been forced open at both ends. Someone got in here to cut the surveillance circuits. They could have reached the fridge and taken your wife's body." Pablo, who is on the rooftop checking for clues, receives a call from Norma, who says, "I'm at the emergency stairs leading to the rooftop, and we found something." Jaime asks Alex, "Does the date March 20th, 2012 mean anything to you?" Alex replies, "No." Jaime continues, "Someone changed the date on the calendar, most likely the person who took your wife's body. From here, the only way out is through this security door. To open it, you need to key in a code. The control panel's been tampered with. The code was changed tonight. Guess what it is? March 20th, 2012. It was the passkey to Alex Ulloa's lab. When Maker, acting suspiciously, asks Alex about the significance of the date, he responds, "That's the day we had a heated argument." In truth, it was the date Alex first met Clara. Whoever took your wife's body accessed the morgue using this goods lift and removed the body via the same lift. "Mystery solved," Jaime said. "We just need to find out who it was." Suddenly, the fire alarm went off due to a fire. As officers responded, Alex took a detour and called Clara. He noticed a wristband labeled Clara Miller and realized Maker might still be alive and toying with him. "She saw the message you sent me that night. She knows what we did," he told Clara. "She's making them think I took her body. She's framing me." The narrative escalates tension by implicating Alex further through the discovery of the Pharmatech vial and the altered security code tied to his personal life, suggesting a meticulously planned setup. The reappearance of Maker's sentimental message and the wristband labeled Clara Miller fuels paranoia, blurring the line between Alex's guilt and the possibility of Maker's survival and revenge. Jaime catches Alex on the phone and demands it. The call logs have been erased. Mateo says the number is unlisted. Meanwhile, Pablo reveals that a cigarette butt set off the fire alarm. The report on TH16 confirms it's a cardiotoxin that causes cardiac arrest 8 hours after ingestion, leaving no trace. Jaime instructs Pablo to place Alex in a locked room under constant surveillance. Alex enters the room adjacent to where he was confined. A mobile phone rings inside a bag containing a dead body. The call comes from Micah's number, but no one speaks. The body is identified as Javier Alonso's. Alex uses Javier's phone to call Micah's number. A waitress named Patricia at a Bresco restaurant answers, explaining that someone left the phone in the bathroom. Alex recalls visiting a Bresco, where he saw Maker speaking with a man. When Alex asked about him, Micah claimed the man was her new lawyer, revising their marriage contract and property division, but then laughed and said he was her psychoanalyst. Alex now realizes the dead body is the man he saw talking to Micah at Abresco. Alex calls Clara. When she asks whose number he's using, he explains it's Javier Alonso's phone, which has only Micah's number in its contact list. He continues, "I don't know who he was, but a few weeks ago, Micah met a man at a restaurant called Abresco. She told me he was her psychoanalyst, but she was lying. Now she wants me to connect her, Abresco, the forgotten phone, and that man. I think he was Javier Alonso." Alex asks for Clara's help, saying, "His details are on your screen." Clara asks, "Where did you get that phone?" Alex replies, "I'm looking at Javier Alonso's corpse. The phone was in his body bag." Gloria, Micah's lawyer, also handles accounting. Among the documents she provided to the police, there is a suspicious invoice, but the police cannot locate the person who received the payment. He is not answering his phone. Pablo says, "I'll go to his home." Jaime brings Alex in for interrogation and says, "I believe you killed your wife with TH16 and then stole her body to prevent an autopsy." Alex responds, "Why would I carry the vial of TH16 with me if I killed her with it?" Jaime tells Alex, "Your wife hired a detective who was following you. We have the invoice." Jaime also shows him their marriage contract and says, "I think your wife suspected you of cheating. If so, you would have violated a key clause and you would have lost all rights if she divorced you." Jaime continues, "The question is, did the detective catch you? Did you know this? Is that why you killed her before she could cut you off with nothing? We'll soon know for sure. A patrol car is heading to the home of Javier Alonso, your wife's detective." When Jaime uttered the name Javier Alonso, Alex's blood ran cold. He took Jaime to the room where he'd discovered a corpse, its name tag reading Javier Alonso. Now, a chill gripped Alex's spine as the tag displayed a new name, Diego Aguilar. As Jaime slipped out of the room, Alex's trembling fingers clutched the mysterious phone he'd found earlier. He dialed Carla, his voice low and urgent. "Carla, Javier Alonso wasn't just anyone. He was a detective." On the other end, Carla's breath hitched. "Alex, I got an envelope today. No sender. Inside was a pen drive labeled with Javier's name. I'm sending you what I found." Moments later, Alex's screen lit up with images, candid shots of him and Carla together, snapped by an unseen stalker. Worse, there was a recording, his own voice, plotting Micah's murder during a past call with Carla. His heart pounded. "Micah knows everything. She sent this. She's coming for you, Carla. Get out. Find somewhere safe now." Carla, bags already packed, whispered, "I'm leaving." But as she stepped outside her apartment, headlights flared behind her. A car idled in the shadows. The call cut off with a sudden deafening silence. A frantic Alex gripped Jaime's arm, his voice trembling. "Let me out. Carla's in danger." Jaime, sensing the urgency, dispatched a patrol car to Carla's house. In a hushed confession, Alex unraveled his secret. "I've been having an affair with Carla. I can't just divorce Micah. She'd ruin my career, my life. Killing her was the only way." He admitted he'd murdered Micah to be with Carla. Jaime's eyes narrowed. "If you meticulously planned your wife's death, certain the toxin would work. Why is she alive? You saw her drink the wine." Alex's face paled. "Maybe she switched the glasses." Jaime pressed, "If she did, what happened next?" Alex's voice dropped to a whisper. "She might have taken a neuroleptic to induce catalepsy. Some dissolve in the blood, slowing the lungs and nearly stopping the heart. Once the agent metabolizes, the body recovers." Jaime frowned. "That's risky." Alex's lips twisted into a grim smile. "Not for Micah. She loves to play, and she hates to lose." Moments later, Pablo called Jaime from Alex's house, his tone urgent. "We found plans of the morgue, complete with a mapped route and instructions to bypass the security system. In Alex's car trunk, there's a shovel and a sports bag. We also found shoes matching the footprints on the morgue's emergency stairs, and hidden in a box, an unregistered gun, recently fired." Meanwhile, Angel Torres awoke in the hospital, his voice hoarse as he recounted the chilling events. He'd gone to the morgue's cold storage room where Micah's body was supposed to be, but it was gone. Stunned, he spotted her corpse in an elevator. As he fumbled for his phone to call the police, the doors slid shut. When they reopened, the body had vanished, and a masked man emerged, firing at the night guard. Jaime fixed Alex with a steely gaze. "The bullets from the morgue shooting match the gun we found in your house." Alex's jaw tightened. "That gun was Micah's." Jaime's voice was cold. "Your wife is dead." Alex leaned forward, defiant. "You can't prove it. They haven't found her body, and they won't." Jaime countered, "Because you took it. You killed her and hid the body." Alex's eyes blazed. "Micah wants you to think that. Can't you see? She orchestrated this with someone's help. She faked her disappearance and ensured she'd wake up. She's alive." Jaime shook his head. "No, Alex, you stole her body. We found morgue plans hidden in your house. You distracted the guard to throw us off." Alex insists, "Believe me, nothing that happened tonight was an accident." "Maker has the power and money to disappear without a trace," Alex claims. Alex asserts, "Carla will corroborate my story." Jaime challenges, "How do you keep justifying the unjustifiable? Aren't you exhausted? Don't you feel disgusted?" While Alex is being transported from the morgue to the police station in a police vehicle, Pablo informs Jaime, "We found a body. It's Micah." Jaime confronts Alex. "No one lives at the address you gave us for Carla Miller. The flat has been vacant for years, and the neighbors don't recall anyone by that name." Jaime adds, "We've checked everywhere, including the Faculty of Medicine, but no one named Carla Miller exists." Jaime accuses, "You invented Carla Miller because you're weak and cowardly. She gave you the courage to kill your wife." As the other officers leave the scene, Alex bolts into the woods, with Jaime in close pursuit. Alex, clutching his chest, gasps, "What's wrong with me?" Jaime replies, "We have been at it 8 hours straight, shut in a goddamn morgue. How do you expect to feel?" Jaime slows, his voice heavy. "This reminds me of my wife. She died 10 years ago today." He pauses, then adds, "The official report called it an accident. But she was murdered." "My daughter was in the car too," Jaime continues. "A call to emergency services could have saved her life, but the car that hit us sped off. They were probably high on something. They left us there like animals. She clung to life for hours, but she died minutes before help arrived." Jaime's voice hardens. "Years later, my daughter remembered the license plate and a hotel in Avalon on the island of Santa Catalina." Jaime confronts Alex. "How could you live all these years knowing you were murderers?" He pulls out his wallet and shows a photo, saying, "This is my daughter, Eva." Jaime continues, "Eva got to you without my knowledge. She worried the car she recalled might not belong to her mother's killers, that you and your wife were innocent. She needed to be certain. The only way to confirm your guilt was to make you talk. And she did. You confessed your darkest secret to her." "Eva knew I was ready to act," Jaime says. "She understood that if she told me you'd confessed, it would give me the green light to come after you and your wife. And she did it. She told me everything. Since then, you've been a puppet in our hands." Jaime adds, "The detective was a bargain. All I had to do was slip the invoice into the dossier." Jaime says, "There's no trace of Eva ever being here. She never interacted with anyone. She's already back in Berlin." "Javier Alonso is off on some trip, of course," Jaime scoffs. "He didn't uncover a thing." Jaime grabs Alex, forcing him to face Micah's lifeless body and hisses, "Soon you'll be joining her.